Hello, Sakshi, and congratulations on successfully completing so many interviews. How have you been doing?
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I am also very happy for this. And I am very happy and I'm doing very well right now after
Great.
doing so much of the preparation and successfully completing the process. And I am sure the results will be on my end.
Absolutely, absolutely. But before we proceed, Sakshi, can you just give us a brief about your background, academic background, and work ex, internship, anything? Just a brief background.
So, myself, Dr. Sakshi Yeole. I come from Nashik, Maharashtra. I have completed my bachelor's in dental surgery and I have completed it from Maharashtra University of Health and Sciences. I specially generated this interest in healthcare background when I uh, found that there is some gap between the processes that are being delivered and that are being uh, told to the people. They do not reach the rural areas that efficiently and with that speed. So I thought that doing management in healthcare will help me to guide those people and solve their problems. So my motive is to give healthcare to everyone because I feel it is a right and not a luxury that only people who have the money or they have the budget they can uh, get it. So that was my motive to get in management from my BDS background.
Okay, that's a great thought, Sakshi, and I really appreciate that. And it is healthcare is a subject very close to each and every one of our hearts, especially after all that everyone has been through the pandemic. I think the pandemic, one good thing, one good takeaway from the pandemic was that everyone got really aware about how important health is. So till that time, I think the quote "health is wealth" was just for the textbooks, but now it is actually in process. So that's something really important that you've highlighted, and really a good thought process. So, Sakshi, while I understand from your background that you have practically applied for the healthcare management programs, so can you just tell us that what were the colleges that you got shortlisted for in terms of the selection process?
Yeah, I had shortlisted for IIHMR Jaipur, IIHMR Bangalore. I have a call letter for NMIMS Pharmaceutical Management and NMIMS Healthcare Management.
Great. So all the like good top colleges,
Yeah.
you've got it in your bag. So the interviews for all of these are over, right?
Yes.
So just share your experience in terms. Firstly, we'll go with the questions. So please share the questions that you had as a part of the interview process. And if there was some other process involved except PI, like a GD or a WAT, please mention the same. So let's begin with IIHMR selection process. Tell us all about it.
So IIHMR Jaipur was my first call letter that I had got. So that was it consisted of GD and PI, and both processes were online. And GD was a normal GD that we have, that a group of 10 or 15 people was there, and they had given a topic, and we have to speak on that topic for 10 minutes. And it was not there that we have to reach a consensus, but we had to put up our points. And in
Can
PI,
you just mention the topic fleetingly?
uh, it was the health discrepancies we face in India.
Great. Thank you. Yes. Go ahead.
Then in PI, there were two panelists. So one of them was asking me my background, academic related questions, like what I have done in the past years over this. Like mostly questions were from BDS background. And then the other panelist, he was more of asking me of general knowledge, then of my why MBA in healthcare, why I am shifting my domain. So these were the basic questions he asked me. And of my academics, they were of like what was my favorite subject, why it was my favorite subject, then process of root canal and some drugs related questions. So it was a easy for me because I have been doing it for last 5 years. So it was not that hard. And the rest, the second panelist who asked me about why MBA, why shifting from BDS to MBA, then how this BDS background will help me in MBA. So these were 3, 4 questions that he asked me. And at the end, this was my first interview, and I had shared it with you also, that at the end the panelists were very happy, and he said to me that we had really great time with you, and that made my day. So
Oh
it
wow.
was really like, I
So
wasn't expecting. I had in my mind that I had given my best. I was no my I came to know by their faces, we come to know that we are doing what. So
right.
that was a great experience, and it was the first. So always the first experience matters. So it was really good. So it
While
was
you
a
just
booster to
mentioned,
me.
while you just mentioned that, I recalled that yes, I think you were one of the first candidates who came on board and said that my interview, like the panelists had a great time with me. I was like, what? So you were like, yeah, ma'am, the panelists told me that they had a great time with me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm so glad that your experience was so good, and with the first interview, so definitely it gave you a lot of momentum to go ahead
Yes.
with the other interviews. So great. Next up, NM Healthcare Management. Tell us
Yeah.
about your experience and the kind of questions that you faced there.
So NM Healthcare Management, actually they do not contain, like they do not have weightage for any of the competitive exams. So they conduct their own exam there, right there after we go. So there we had a competency test. So it was of 45 minutes, consisted of 20 questions, and the questions were from verbal ability, managerial ability, and mental ability. And
So
it
this
was a,
is the competency test. This is the competency test that you're talking about.
yeah.
So specifically this year, it was brought into action. Like if I talk about 2024, the NMAT score weightage was drastically reduced, and this was introduced this year
Sorry,
impromptu.
ma'am. Actually, the healthcare management, they do not take NMATS course at all from starting.
Right, right. But I was
So,
talking about the general
yeah,
program as well. That the concept of competency uh, exam was introduced specifically this year. But yes, when it comes to healthcare management, they never gave it, like they never consider NMAT as the exam.
yeah.
Great.
Then the
Go ahead.
competency test was a cakewalk. Like it was really very easy because when we give NMAT, and after NMAT giving competency test was like, if even if you don't know anything, then also you could have passed the exam. It was that easy. So, but actually our efforts matter, because the basics we know, then we can go forward with it. And then comes the PI. The first time NMIMS had an AI assisted PI. So
Right.
the experience there was quite like, firstly, when sitting outside the room waiting for the interview, it was quite nervous because you never know what AI will ask you. And it was like, what they will ask, will it be more factual, will it be more GK? And it was all the questions coming in mind. But the panel there, like the process was, we were sitting and we were being called number wise, and we have to wait outside the room till the next candidate comes out. So basically, we had a laptop in front of us, and behind the laptop, the panel was sitting. So after the AI interview is over, the panel asks us questions, and after that, we are relieved. So it was that scene. And so when the interview started, it is of 12 minutes for everyone. And the
Okay.
questions, they were basically from SOP we had submitted during the application. So I got the questions like, why healthcare I am being choosing as my background after doing BDS. That means, like the AI asked me, BDS is a quite great option. Then why are you shifting? Then
Right.
second was, why I am more of fascinated towards bridging the gap. So how did I get there, and what was my overall journey to reach there? So I already mentioned to you how it got there. Next was, what are the various schemes in India which are working towards the rural sector for healthcare. Next was how is the UK healthcare system better than ours? And ma'am, you will not uh, believe me, but this answers question I had got from the book that Mayur sir had sent to me, the healthcare management systems all over world. So I had given the
Yeah.
answer, and the panelists were shocked that I knew this system. Like, how do I know this system? Because
The NHS that you spoke about.
yeah,
They have the NHS scheme. So you spoke about that.
yes,
So of course, like while so we will definitely talk about the preparation strategy, but I think while we prepare, we always make sure that the students are learning about the Indian healthcare system, but also have an overview of the global healthcare system, which will help you in terms of the upcoming selection processes, and that's exactly what happens. So I'm so glad to know about it.
yes. Then the next question came after this was how will India reach the system that UK or USA has? So I took the inspiration from you and Mayur sir, as you always say, making India global power, making wealthy leaders. So I told that answer, and it abruptly ends because the 12 minutes timer was over. So the sir said to me, who was taking my interview, you can continue the answer, and he was very happy at the end because speaking of this inspiration, matlab, wealthy leader wala thought, making global power, he was like, yeah. And this also, NM healthcare interview, the panelist at the end told me, you're very good at communication and you're very confident. So I was like, thank you so much, sir.
Congratulations! I mean, that's like you're on a roll, Sakshi.
So I was very happy. Like the smile on my face was not going. It was
It's
consistent.
radiating. It's still radiating.
So it was very nice experience of NM healthcare, and going there in the campus makes you feel like, oh, we are going to come here
I
visiting the
belong here.
campus. Yeah. Sorry. So
Yeah,
like it gives you the vibe, it gives you that energy, it boosts your momentum. So it's all a different feel at a,
absolutely. So great. Another great experience. Let's hear about NM Pharmaceutical course that you are talking about.
so NM Pharmaceutical also first we had the competencies test, as you already told, the NMAT weightage has reduced and competency has come into picture. The competencies test was similar to that of what they had given to the healthcare
Right. We've
also.
already spoken about it. It was almost similar for
Similar.
every other course. Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Moving
the
on to
next
the
was
AI assisted interview.
that
So
was not in my favor, to be honest speaking, because the questions I feel I was not that much experienced to answer, I feel, because I have not gained that knowledge in that part, because that questions the AI asked me were related to stock market, were related to more of business knowledge, like you can say the classifications and all that, and I was not really sure, I had not read about it, and that was the thing. But at when I came back, then I studied it, but then I found that it was not related to my domain as such, so it's
probably you must have mentioned some keywords in your SOP and that might have got skipped during the preparation. Or it could also be that you've mentioned something about global overview or something. So
yeah,
AI, so when you talk about global overview or economic status or some policies, then that's the kind of questions that the AI will throw at you. And I think because the pharmaceutical management, you were not really very inclined towards it, so probably did not really align with what you wanted to speak or had prepared for as compared to a healthcare management,
yeah.
the other two healthcare management programs that you went for. But still, just tell us. It's all right. Every day is not a Sunday, and it's all right. So just tell us about the question. So you said because you had used the business overview terms and
Yeah.
economic policies, that they threw questions like that, which you were unable to answer. All right, no worries. What else?
So, the first question was, as usual, like how does healthcare and pharmaceutical background are linked? how do you feel that my like BDS curriculum will help me in the pharmaceutical management? Second question was, as I told, it was like, what is the current situation of Indian stock market, and how is healthcare industry affected by it?
Correct.
Then the third question was, how does oil affects the pharmaceutical industry? So the at the end when I came out, I then clicked it in my mind that the oil there was the petroleum. So at that
Oh,
moment when one question goes wrong, it like gives
takes
and
a toll on your
yeah,
other
and
questions that
the
you need to
timer was
answer.
ticking and everything, because when it's a human interview you can take some pause and give the answer, but
Right,
you have
right,
only 12 minutes, you have to speak as much as you can, and then it comes like only 12 minutes, you can't take a long pause, so that
right.
came
So,
over to
Sakshi, you spoke about these three interviews, and you also spoke about a few challenges. But then, mostly the bigger, if you look at the larger picture, it was a great experience. You learned a
it.
lot. So, can you tell us any three strategies that you really abide by and that really helped you with regards to the preparation for the selection process?
So, firstly, it cannot be a strategy, of course, but I like recently you can say I am missing some SMT sessions because of this processes. I am not able to
SMT
attend it.
selection mastery training sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I am missing on it because of the processes going on. But then I had joined VAIR and I upgraded my membership to Diamond. After that, I had not missed any of the classes. So I feel like to be what you are doing consistently is the key to reach where you want to go. Consistency is the first foremost
absolutely.
strategy. Second is,
Absolutely
as you
true.
had already mentioned, like very earlier when we had a session with you after the upgradation of diamond membership, that you have you read as much as you can about the healthcare industry, because the healthcare industry, it's vast. You cannot sum up it in like one book, two books, like you cannot, because it is involved in every sector. So
Absolutely. So
I,
reading a lot of updated and current affairs related to the healthcare industry, since you were
yes.
targeting the healthcare industry. Great. And the
Then
third strategy?
third was the mirror exercise and journaling. Journaling my thoughts, because in interview it's always the articulation that helps you to mediate the thing which you want to tell the interviewer. So mirror exercise really helped me to boost my confidence, because you also know the first session I had with you and this session I am doing with you, so it is a great difference I can see in myself. So it is the mirror exercise and the journaling. Like I am quite good now. Like I am clear with my thoughts. It's not jumbling in my mind.
Great. I mean, the kind of effort you've put in definitely counts, Sakshi. And the other thing I want to know is that the wire preparation strategy and the selection mastery trainings, how has that helped you, as well as the mock interviews that we conducted for you? So how was the experience, and how did it help you? How much of it was a match when you went for your actual interviews, and how did that help you? So if you could just enlighten us a little about the same.
So, firstly, I was a very camera conscious person, to be honest. Like, I don't like getting clicked at all. Like, I do not have many of the photos. I was very, to be precise now. And this community has helped me to overcome this fear, that now I can speak. Actually, during my internship, I had spoken in front of 400 people. I had given a health talk to them, and that time it was a very big achievement for me. And this was because of this community, because it has boosted my confidence to another level. Like I can just talk to a random person now, and like I can be friendly, I can help them. I am like genuinely become a different individual. What
So glad to know about this. So glad.
and talking about the mock interviews and the strategies that were given to me during the whole year of process, they really helped me. And like talking about the mock interviews, the questions were quite similar, a little bit molded in some or the other way. The language can be twisted, but the answer we give is somewhat some like similar, because the
Right.
question in the interview, they cannot ask you technical questions right here. So questions, they really help. The feedback we get, that also really helps, because at the end of the day, we should know where we are lacking. So it
Right.
really boosts the performance and helps to overcome where we are lacking, so that we can be good at that also. And the team which I have been assigned for the process, like together, Sejal ma'am, Yatika ma'am, you, Mayur sir, all the teachers from Abhishek sir, Vishali ma'am, everyone. I am not taking names, but everyone has
Right.
been a very supportive person till now, and I know they'll be there for me a lifelong, because it is
Of course.
a journey that started a year ago, but it is a lifelong journey that's going to continue from now. And
Absolutely.
this team has given me a lot of courage to speak my points without any hesitation, without any, like, they encouraged me to put forward my point of view. And also the peers in the community, I am very thankful to them also. They have been constant support. At, like, after the cat 2024 scores came out, I was very like low. I had a breakdown in front of Mayur sir, and it was like, what was wrong with me? Because I had prepared, everything was good. Then end moment something did not click.
But then later you did realize that CAT did not play an important role because any which ways the colleges you are targeting, you have, I mean, got through them because you got a call, you got shortlisted, you got through them now eventually. And a few of them, the confirmation is pending, of course, as we speak. But you have cleared, like, I think 50% of the calls already. IIHMR Jaipur and Bangalore. And now you are just awaiting the calls from NM. So any which ways, it was not an obstacle, it was just a momentary thought in your mind because
Yeah,
the other times you cleared irrespective. And so that's another great thing, we sometimes ignore our blind spot. It turns a blind spot to us. We don't realize that we have done so much, but we start focusing on what we've probably not done. So I mean, that was something that you sort of gave too much importance, but it was not important in your case.
yeah. At later count, I realized that.
Right. And again, Sakshi, I just want you to, like, while we wrap up this discussion, finally, I want to know that do you think that starting to prepare an year in advance really helped you at the time of the calls when they were getting scheduled and the exams? Or do you think that having a 1 month or 2 month preparation strategy would have been better for you?
No, actually, having a year-long process, it boosts your confidence. It gives you a momentum, because in 1 month you cannot get that confidence in you and speak in front of a panel who is experienced of 15, 20, or sometimes 30 years also. So
Right.
there you should have that confidence, that knowledge, and the knowledge we are gaining, it's not that we can read one book and go there, because it's a different perspective. You have to look there at in all perspective and then answer. You cannot just
Absolutely.
hold yourself and this is the only way to answer this. It's not that way. So to gain
So
that,
true.
it's a, like, I feel 1 year is a time period. If we give that, it's definitely worth it, and everyone who is preparing should follow the process, like,
The structure that has been designed,
yeah.
obviously, because I do remember the first time you were so camera shy. When the panelists appreciate you for having good communication skills, I mean, you came up to me writing an SOP in which you wrote, my weakness is I don't have good communication skills. And then I told you, I schooled you for it, that you have to remove this from your SOP. And by removing this, I don't mean that you need to be dishonest, but you need to be honest, that is, improve on your communication skills and become a pro at it, which you have eventually. And if you don't believe me, I don't see a reason why you should not believe me, but I do see that you have validation from even the trainers and professors from the top universities of the country now, while you've also happened to receive the offer letters from there. So, thank you so much, Sakshi, for your precious time, for sharing your experience in so much detail, so selflessly once again, and great work on your dedication and passion. Because ultimately, no structure, no curriculum, no sessions will help if you are not implementing these learnings. So remember, absorbing all of that information, remembering how to implement them during the interview is, it takes a lot, and you've done that. So great work! Congratulations on successfully
Thank you so
cracking.
much, ma'am. And I feel it's all because of you, because you, in the sense, this community and everyone in this. So I feel this, what I have achieved is not only me, but it involves my parents, my God, and the community. We should never forget our roots, as Mayur sir says, and mm, have that gratitude, as you say, gratitude for attitude. So that is the thing. I will never, like, I had said this to Mayur sir also, and I am telling you this also, that this joining this community was the best thing I have done in the life, and it has helped me evolve to a better person. So
I'm
thank you
so
so
glad.
much.
I'm so glad you think that way, and I'm so glad for your contribution to this community in your own way by being present here, remembering all the details, being so passionate about sharing all these details. So really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and all the best for the upcoming results. And hoping that you crack the code to all these interviews. See you soon, Sakshi. Thank you so much. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much, ma'am.